Today we're also going to have the story Corduroy. Corduroy is a great story. This book is a little banged up. It's been around the block. This was one of my kids' favorite stories. When my daughter Alyssa was only 2 years old, she would mouth the words along while I would read it to her. Let's get started with Corduroy. Now, Corduroy is a bear who once lived in the toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. The store was always filled with shoppers buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want just a little bear in green overalls. But then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look. There's the very bear I have always wanted." "Not today, dear," her mother sighed. "We have spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps." See right here? Can you see where the button is missing? Oh, poor Corduroy. Corduroy watched sadly while they walked away. "I didn't know I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight, I'll go see if I can find it." Uh-oh, what's gonna happen when Corduroy looks for the button? Let's see. Later that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf and began searching the floor for that lost button. Suddenly, the floor started moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto the escalator and up he went. Could this be a mountain? Wondered Corduroy. "I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain." He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there, before his eyes, was the most amazing sight. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. "Why, this must be a palace," Corduroy gasped. "I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace." He wandered around admiring the furniture. "This must be a bed," he said. "I've always wanted to sleep in a bed." And up he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. All at once, he saw something small and round. "Why, here's my button," he cried. And he tried to pick it up, but like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down tight. He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop! Off came the button, and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. Bang! Into a floor lamp, and over it fell with a crash. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. "Now, who in the world did that?" he exclaimed. "Somebody must be hiding around here." He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all. And there he saw 2 fuzzy little brown ears sticking up from under the cover. "Hello," he said. "How did you get upstairs?" The watchman tucked Corduroy into his arms and carried him down the escalator and set him back on the shelf in the toy department with all the other animals and dolls. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customer came into the store in the morning, and there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I've saved in my piggy bank, and my mommy said I could bring you home." "Shall I put him in a box for you?" asked the sales lady. See, they got the box all ready to go. "Oh, no, thank you," Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight into her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair and a chest of drawers, and alongside a girl-sized bed stood a little teeny tiny bed. See, this is Lisa's bed and the little teeny tiny bed. It was just the right size for Corduroy. The room was nothing like the enormous palace in the department store. "This must be home," he said. "I know I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. "I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," Lisa said, and she gave him a big hug. And that's the end of the delightful story of Corduroy. I hope you've enjoyed it. Bye. I love you.